fixed my spreadsheet. So in my last video, I showed you how I use Excel to analyze the SPX options using Thinkorswim's time and sales. Today, I'm going to show you how I made that spreadsheet way mo better. All right, so man, so many things. I had to write them down on a little sticky note. I don't know why I use such a small sticky note. I have bigger ones. But anyway, so to the data. So happy Friday, by the way. Let's start with the data. So a few new things, quite a few new things. One thing I did was I recalculated the way I did buys and sells, and I did that based on this paper from 1991, I believe, and it calls them buys if they're closer to the ask, or sells if they're closer to the bid. And that was from, notice, that was from this paper, Harris, in '89. But this paper that you're looking at here, inferring trade data from Lee and Reddy, back in '91. So basically, you know, what that is the lean ask, lean bid thing. They got some convincing stats in that paper. It's a good one. And basically I decided, yeah, that's a better way to do it. So to do that, let's go to the spreadsheet now. So to do that, I took now just a refresher, the data comes in and it looks just like this. You get columns A through J, no headers. You have to put your headers in. And then I made all these other columns that you'll see to the right of it using formulas. So there's the headers that you get. These are the data you get. And then everything to the right I made up. So I parsed out this B column into strike, expiration, a couple of new things. Let's just go through it. So first here, I did a DTE column. And to do that, I had to take the text in this. You know, Excel sees it general as a text. So I had to take that and then make that a date formula so that I could subtract the date from today. I got this blank here, which I'll talk about more in a little bit. Hopefully y'all can see that. I mean, it's easier for me to just stay zoomed out, but quick zoomy. I got this blank here where I typed today's date in, and it's formatted. It's formatted as a long date. Because I like to see the day of the week, and I made it to where I can just type in using short date to make it easier. So I can just come over here and type, like, you know, 4/1/23, and it'll give me the date. So I'm going to undo that. So I have this, and this is outputting all over the sheet, and I'll circle back to that. Working through the columns over here, I guess we'll do some zoom action. We have strike, expiration, formatted expiration is what I called that because I had to call it a date. And then that let me subtract and get DTE. I made this column option type. Scrolling over, we have premium. I already had that. And then here's a new thing I did. Split it up into bid and ask and mid price. And so just did some formulas to do that. By grabbing the market column. Here's my formula for the bid. Here's my formula for the ask. And then the mid price or the mark, here's the formula for that, because I have bid in column R and ask in column T. I did a spread in column Q, which is just going to be ask minus bid, or T minus R. So I like that. I did a new inside spread or outside spread, and if it wasn't, how much above ask or below bid was it? And don't forget, well, I don't want to get into that, but I think that only works for lots over 100. I think maybe I had that page pulled up. I don't want to get too sidetracked, but there's a sweet Unusual Whales post about that. Well, here it is. And then you can look up national bid, best bid and offer. I guess I am talking about it, but look into that later. Back up. I did my new formula for buy and sell based off if it's to the right or left of this midpoint price. And then if it's exactly on it, I call it midpoint. That was a pretty tough formula. No lie, y'all. So the best thing I've learned lately on all my analyses is using Chat GPT. It's really accelerated my Python coding abilities because I already know how to do Excel. And you can type in how would you do this in Excel, and it will spit out the Python formula. Or like this buy or sell formula. Well, the buy and sell was pretty easy, but then I did this bullish one, bullish bearish, and it was kind of hard because I wanted to do bought calls and sold puts are both bullish, and then I wanted to do the opposite, bought puts and sold calls as bearish. And then so I did a little conditional formatting on that, and that formula was hard. I could write half of it, but I was struggling with the other half, so that's where I recruited ChatGPT. Here's that whole long formula. It says if my O2, that's my option type column, is a put, and if and, so that's doing is a put and sold, then it's bullish. Else, if it's a call and it's bought, it's also bullish. Or I said else, but that's an and. So if this and this, really that's an or. That's how it would be in some languages. Or if it's a call and bought, then it's bullish. All else is bearish. And so anytime you do something like that, you just want to double check. And to make the video shorter, I did. I'm copying. Oops. Okay, I thought I checked it. I double checked it, but maybe I didn't triple check it until I was rewatching this video, and I did see an error. Did you catch it? When I'm so sorry about this, but this is in fact an error. When it's midpoint, I meant to put neutral, and as you'll see in a minute, when I code it in Python, I did fix that. And so that is, as far as I can tell, the only error on this spreadsheet, and the rest should be good. And then I did my percent of today's range I like to do to see if they're timing the top or the bottom using the high or low. And then this column where I type the date once, and it's going to go to the rest of my sheet. So those are the changes to the data tab, and I'm still doing some kind of lame things. I have a monthly data tab for the monthly OPEXs and an all data tab. Eventually I'm going to get to where I just only do the all, and then I filter. And eventually, by the way, this is still all temporary. We're getting out of Excel. We're moving on. And actually let's just keep being sidetracked on this Friday, Feel Good Friday, and I'll show you my Python code that I'm excited about. So in the Python code, the only thing I export or I save are the headers of those first of the main columns that Thinkorswim gives, and I do the no filters, so size of 1 and more. Put that into a CSV, and then I went through on ChatGPT and typed out all these custom columns I made in Excel to get them into Python. And so far, I've finally gotten the data for all 20 of these columns into Python, and that's where I left off. So I still got the visualization component. But just to show you my progress, or if you want to copy these formulas for any reason, I do. Oh, I didn't comment that out. What is this one? What does that look like? Oh, this is the expiration column. If it's 15 characters long or 16 characters, that's based off if it's like the month, the date has a single digit, it'll be 15. Nope, that's the strike column. It's hard to think on the fly. And all right, so then we have comments. We got get the strike and make a column, get the expiration and make a column, get the option type. Then I was struggling with data types, so I was printing these lines to give me the data types. Convert quantity to float, make premium column, format premium pretty with a nice dollar sign, and then let me know the data types, and then I was working on some other stuff. And so, okay, then we do split the market column into 3 columns. Then we calculate the midpoint and call that the mark column. Then we calculate the spread column. Then we calculate the buy and sell. See, the code is a lot friendlier over here. We had to use NumPy. And again, I did that using the Excel formula in ChatGPT. Create the bullish bearish column and neutral if it's dead on the midpoint. That gave me, here's my data frame, time, option, quantity, you see them all the way down to, here's the good stuff down here, premium, bullish, bearish, and got my premium formatted pretty, which it didn't like actually, because I think it's putting it back in a string. So for something I had to, that's what I was messing with, quantity. And then up next comes visualization. So that's the future. That's where we're going. Why? Because I can dump that CSV in there and bam, output it, and it's done. On that note, I did highly upgrade my process of doing it in Excel, where before, I don't know why, I was copying and pasting each one of these tabs into a new sheet and updating the data to fit the new data and updating the chart titles. And I at least got rid of all that. So now I have a master template that instead, that I call don't options template, don't overwrite. I have all my charts in there set up and everything but the data. So now I can just save as a new thing, enter the data, and copy it down, and all my charts will be donezo. Then, so here are my charts, which I talked about last time. Buy expiration, give you the little tabs. Buy expiration, strike 0 DTE, underlying time. That's time for the monthlies. Time for all transactions by delta, percent days range. Difference from the spread, total bought sold for the monthlies, total bought and sold for all of them. And this is today, this is up to date. So another thing that I was having to do was put the date into every chart, and that was so lame. So what I did here was make this little section over here. Let me scroll over for you. I put the lines of my chart here, and then here in this cell, AC1 is a pretty long formula that concatenates all these cells. So you concatenate AF2, text AF3, that's formatting the date. If you're wondering how I got the day of the week, that had to do some sorcery here. And so yeah, so to get that to show up into your chart, you have to click in the formula bar. Don't forget that. You go to your chart title, click in the formula bar, and type the equal sign, and then go pick your cell. If you double click in the chart and you try and type an equal sign on top of the chart, it will not work. You have to go to the formula bar. So, did I get all my things on my little sticky note? Yeah, I did. Okay, so yeah, I did inside spread, above ask, and below bid. So yeah, my old things. This is today's data, by the way. A little quickie analysis. Today is Friday, March 31st, the end of the quarter, and the whole like JPM roll deal went down today. And like, look at this, is 0 DTE. This is today. All this premium was at 3,900, and so this is by underlying. The price that they did that at today was 40.70. If I go by time, let's look at the all. Oh, another little thing I did is I put these sliders in. All right, you got your chart. Looks like I'm missing a little title. Oops. This one. Come on down. Come on down there. I put these in. These are called slicers. Zoom action. This guy. So I can look at only bullish, only bearish, whatever. This is a busy chart, so I shouldn't have done that live because my fans are whirling. That's like to select more than one. You do that up here. Power pivot. No. I think it's insert. Actually, it is pivot chart, analyze, insert slicer, and then you select which of your pivot chart fields over here that you would want. I never even talked about, by the way, how to make a pivot chart. I just assume, like, you know, you need to know how to do Excel. And I didn't want to make the video too long, so I do by delta. And here I restructured it to where I took off bought, sold, calls, puts. I just put this into bullish or bearish because we know if it's a negative delta, it was a put. So look at all that. So then I just did blue for bullish, red for bearish. By the percent days range to see if they were hitting the top or the bottom. All this premium went down. If we go to the time, so early in the morning at 9:21 Chicago time, $1 billion of premium was bought in calls, and I have to assume that that was closing transactions for the JPM. And then I believe they came back later at 13:54 Chicago time, just a little bit over an hour before close, and opened up or rolled it. And I was looking at that timestamp, and it was just massive. It was 13:54, and I made a little tweet ski about it. Here they are, all at this same timestamp, 13:54:05. All this premium. That's all 13:54:05. So this is where I think they rolled it. And I actually put all this into a second, its own spreadsheet. And this was what I came up with for the JPM Roll stuff. So they sold calls, and they for the March, for today, that expired today, so they were closing that up. And then they opened these June 30th. And let's go to the strikes. So they sold 3,900 calls and 4,300 calls, bought some 3860 puts and 3260 puts. This is all in the 13:05 timestamp, all this data. I need to go out and take out the March ones probably, but those are, yeah, I need to like take out that 377 million. Dang, my tweet is wrong, I guess. I included that. That shouldn't be in there, I guess, right? We want the new data. Whoops. Total buys and sells. This is what I tweeted, that I had 648 mil in credit sold, 270 mil in debit. So I came up with a net of 378 mil collected. But that's wrong, because we can see 378 mil was taken for the todays. I don't know. I'm not trying to be like that's not my game, the whole JPM collar roll. And like it's been said, but if you're thinking that it's like you can use it, I don't think you can. I think knowing about it is cool, but whatever. Okay, getting distracted, not the point of this video. The main thing I was doing bad was not having a template. So now I can do all my charts and they're done. And then I showed you my Python. And one last check of my little checklist. I did. Oh, here's something. One last thing. The inside bid, inside spread stuff. Switching you. Here's one little. Man, where you at? One little bugaboo I gotta do. The above ask, below bid stuff doesn't really work because I need to, like, I guess I'm gonna have to parse that column back out, because on my x-axis they're sorted by number, and so it goes below bid, above ask, below bid, above ask, and so I gotta work on that. I guess parse it back out between above ask and below bid. But for now I stuck this slicer on, and I can at least just say show me all the bearish stuff. So now these go to all. I guess I started to say above ask, but I guess that depends if it's call or put. So these are all the bearish stuffs. Those are all the bullish. And then I click this to select both. Bada bing, bada boom. That's basically it. Appreciate you watching. Those are my SPX analysis Excel version updates. I had some rookie mistakes in that first one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully this one, you can, if you did anything like that, you can tighten it up like I did. And all right, y'all have a good Friday/weekend.